Lately I control the browser only through mouse gestures. It's super convenient. So, to go into gesture drawing mode, you need to hold down the right mouse button. Then you can draw a gesture. This line closes the tab. Or if you draw in the opposite direction, restores the closed tab. Now let's open a link in a new tab by holding Ctrl and clicking on the link. And move on to the tab drawing a gesture. Let's practice a little to act freely. To save the page, just quickly draw the letter S. In this case, it opens a file save window. This gesture closes the window. Let's open the calculator to close it again. Very often you need to reload the page, and a quick gesture for this is this. Draw the letter R, but starting from the bottom. If this is not very convenient, you can draw straight lines like this. This is especially useful if you use a browser like Zen. There is no title bar and the window cannot be dragged. But that's not a problem. You can left and right click at the same time and the window can be dragged by anywhere. If you hold down Ctrl, the window will only be dragged straight. You can align the window to the middle of the screen. To do this, click on the middle of the window, left and right click, and hold the right mouse button. And you can change the size of the window. If you hold down caps lock and scroll the wheel down one click, not quickly, the window will start moving. If you continue scrolling the wheel, the window will start moving faster. If you scroll the wheel in the opposite direction, the window will start to slow down and then move in the opposite direction. But if you spin the wheel quickly, the window is aligned to the middle of the screen, or moves to the edges of the screen. If you hold down Ctrl, the window moves vertically. Now, there is no URL line here. How to open the URL line? Let's draw this gesture. It looks like the letter L. Or you can draw the letter E. The URL line will also open. If you draw B, the bookmarks bar opens. And to add a page to bookmarks, press Ctrl+D. Click Cancel if you don't need to add anything. If you draw the letter F, it opens the Find window at the bottom. You can go to the beginning and end of the page by holding down Ctrl and turning the wheel. To minimize a window, hold Win and scroll the wheel down. And to maximize, scroll up. And if you scroll up again, it maximizes the window to full screen. To maximize other windows, you need to move the cursor to the very edge of the screen, and then scroll the wheel up, draw N, then it presses Ctrl+N, here it opens a new window. This works not only in browsers. It works on other windows too. For example, let's close the player as a browser tab, with the same gesture.
Hey.
Initially, this may not work. Therefore, In the player hotkeys, you need to assign the Ctrl+W hotkey to the exit command. Here is the exit command, and there should be a hotkey Ctrl+W. It is more convenient to close a window as a tab than as a window. Let's draw a down arrow. This selects all the files to the end of the page. And an up arrow. This selects all the files to the beginning of the page. This way you can quickly select everything. Left arrow, go to the previous page. Right arrow, go to the next page. Now, to open the File Properties window, draw like this. There you can, for example, set ratings, or add tags. Press the pause button. This will open the magnifier. Tabs are closed here in the same way as in a browser. It works the same way in VS Code. Close the tab like this. And you can restore the tab by drawing in the opposite direction. By left-clicking, right-clicking, and holding the left mouse button, you can quickly move the window. If you hold down Ctrl, the window will move straight. To resize a window, you need to left-click, right-click, and hold down the right mouse button. If you hold down the right mouse button and scroll the wheel down, it expands the window to the full height of the screen. If you scroll up, it expands the window to the full width of the screen. If you scroll up again, it returns the window to its previous size. If you hold Shift, the window will start to stick to the edges of the screen. To the middle of the screen. And sticks to the edges of other windows. Press Shift to make the window stick to the edge of the screen. Now let's open some window. Let's expand it to the full height of the screen. Hold Shift to make the window stick to the edges. Here, the window sticks to the edge of another window. Holding Shift will snap it to the top line of the adjacent window. To align the window to the middle, you need to click on the middle of the window, left and right click. If you click in the middle, it will resize the window on both sides. You can move the window a little without using the mouse. You need to hold down Caps Lock and turn the wheel one click. If you release Caps Lock, the window will stop. If you spin the wheel quickly, the window will move quickly either to the edge of the screen or to the middle of the screen. If you hold down Ctrl, the window moves vertically. This is how you can align the window to the middle of the screen. Hold down Caps Lock and quickly turn the wheel. If you hold Ctrl and spin the wheel, it moves the cursor to the beginning or end of the page. If you also hold down Shift, this will select the text. There are convenient hotkeys for editing text. Hold down Ctrl and the left arrow. This moves the cursor to the beginning of the line. The right arrow moves the cursor to the end of the line. If you hold down Shift, it will also select text. To erase all text to the beginning of a line, hold down Ctrl and backspace. To erase all text to the end of the line, hold Ctrl and delete. For copying and pasting, these are the gestures. It looks like the buttons on the keyboard. There is a faster way. You need to hold down the left mouse button and press Ctrl to copy, Win to paste, and Shift to cut. There is a super useful feature, sticky keys. What is sticky keys? Usually you have to hold Shift to type a capital letter, like this, but in sticky mode, this is not necessary. You can press Shift, then release it, then press a letter, and the letter will be printed with a capital letter, as if Shift was held down. But if you don't press the button for a long time, Shift is automatically released. Now print lowercase letters. Here is an example of practical use. We will write some text where we need to type capital letters. You can see that Shift is not held down together with the letter at the same time, but is pressed separately. The file is not saved now, that's why there is a circle at the top. We draw such a gesture to save. Now there is no circle. This means that the file is saved. Press Ctrl, release it and press S and the file is saved. Once again. Let's draw F to search for text on the page. B, to clothes, open the bar on the left. And if you hold Alt before releasing the right mouse button, this will press Ctrl plus Alt plus V, which will open the bar on the right. E, opens a window with a list of recently opened files. Now, for example, let's set another theme, a dark one. Hold Ctrl plus Win and right-click, and the window becomes transparent. If you turn the wheel, the window becomes more and more transparent. Now there is another very useful feature, the Alt-Tab window in the bottom left corner of the screen. Now no windows open. But if you hover the cursor over the bottom left corner, a window opens with a list of currently open windows. This is super convenient to quickly select the window. Taskbar won't open now. But if you hold Control, the taskbar opens. The taskbar opens only if you hover over the bottom right corner of the screen. If you now hover cursor over the edge of the screen, the taskbar still opens. But if you don't hover for a long time, the taskbar won't open. There are so many more different stuffs, more than 40 of them. This will be in the next videos. A description of all can be found in the settings menu. Well, now I'll show you how to install it. Let's go to this site. This program is called QuickHotkeys. The link is also in the description. Click on this link. Next, download the zip file. Let's unzip it. If you double-click on the installer, nothing happens. The thing is that you need to unblock the file in the file properties. Open the file properties. Hold Alt and double-click on the file. You can also draw a triangle. Or right-click and select Show More options from the menu, and then Properties. In this window, at the bottom, you need to check the Unblock box. Now double-click on the installer and the installer will open. Click Yes. It is absolutely safe. It does not break anything. Let's leave everything as suggested. That's it, the program is installed. It runs in the tray, and it's called QuickHotkeys. This should start automatically when you boot your computer. Right-click and a menu will open. Here in settings there is a description of all stuffs. About the rest, in the next videos. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to the channel.